I thought it was actually you brought me a beef stick.
No. Mint stuff. I mean, kissing.
Sponsored by beard oil now?
No, but it's really cool. You might be
From.
Do you? Oh, I got a comb. I actually ordered one off of Amazon, but you can keep that for a while. Okay, that's beard oil. And actually, your beard's so manly. Yeah,
it's actually beard conditioner and beard wash.
Beard wash. So you got to use it. It's really
you saying
good.
I'm dirty?
No. But I am saying that you need something to drink, and you cannot drink that. But I did bring you another one of the squirts.
Oh, you got me
It's
a squirt.
a real squirt. It's a real squirt. And so, can I go back to that for a second?
Yeah, by all means.
Okay. But before I go back to that, real fast, we got to mention a couple of things, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Should I mention ECW, Esticated Community Watch, is having a volunteer appreciation day, and it's on Sunday, September 5th at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and it's going to be at a marina.
It's not just a volunteer appreciation.
Oh, actually, it's
Esticated Strong Appreciation Day. This is for all of the kind of redneck fire crews that we had out here. I think we had another name for them in Estacada, but
right.
All those guys. We had the all the people that volunteered, like at the relief center, and just were doing stuff in the area here.
Yeah.
We wanted to do an appreciation day for them, but also to celebrate Estacada Strong. So on September 5th, we are partnering with Get and Go Promontory Marina, and we are doing a chili cook-off, a live music, and with Bobby and friends, carnival games, face painting, pie throwing wall, which I will be at the pie throwing wall, photo booth, contests, prizes, all this. September 5th, it starts at 10 a.m. and goes to 6 p.m. There'll be awards given out by the mayor and a whole bunch of other stuff. We will post this digital copy of this flyer into our Facebook page.
Who are we partnering with, though?
It's from the Get and Go. Jay, he owns Get and Go from Promontory Marina.
So you will not want to miss. Check out Facebook. If you're on Facebook, if you're in Estacada, if you're in Malala, just come one, come all. It would be fun. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tonight you will want to engage with us.
Oh, heavily, please.
Yes.
We are talking about some big subjects tonight. We're talking about
Oh, wait a minute before you say that.
Okay.
Can I give something really fast, too?
Yeah, go for it.
The beard oil is to smell good. But you want to know what really stinks? Especially stinks this week? I picture the guy I'm about to talk about. The guy I'm about to talk about, he is a magician. And, you've ever seen the magician, you guys, that has that table? They have a table set really nice, and then they have a tablecloth. And what they try to do is they try to get the tablecloth out from under all of the place settings, and they stay right in place. Mm-hmm. Well, the guy I'm about to talk to you about is no magician. What he does is he sets the table all nice and doesn't leave the table alone, but takes out the little tablecloth under it, and all the dishes go flying everywhere.
You're talking about Biden, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about Biden.
I spoiled the joke.
Chaos, you guys.
Oh, complete chaos. I mean, the Afghanistan couldn't be a better clusterfuck than it is right now. And there was a good plans and good things in place, but all he had to do was honor and follow the agreement that was set from the previous administration and kind of work its way down like it did up through, I think it was May is when it was supposed to be done, May 1st, I believe is what it was. And he couldn't even do that. Instead, here we are, it's August 18th, and it's a complete clusterfuck. We had down to, I believe, at the time, I want to say we had 2,500 troops in theater in Afghanistan at the time, and now we're up to 6,000 because he's made such a mess of things. And so we've actually gone backwards, and now we have Afghans falling from planes. We have Taliban's killing people. We have chaos and disruption. There was a there was a protest in the Afghanistan, and the Taliban came out and started shooting to shut it down. And so these are the type of things that you're going to expect, and it's going to grow as the Taliban continue to increase in Afghanistan. You're going to see things like mass executions. You're going to see retributions. You're going to see women being going back to being tortured and being treated like less than human. And these are the things that were happening before, and there's nothing to stop it from happening. And now the big difference was before the Afghan government, though weak and very broken at the time, was technically still in power. But now, because of the way that the current administration or the way that uh, Biden has chosen to do it, they have now almost doubled their hold on the country because now they own the cities, the capitals in Jalalabad and Kabul, and they're all the way up through like Medalam and Bagram and those areas. They own all those cities. Those are major cities that we held when I was in Afghanistan, and now they have them. And so,
Speaking of that, you said when I was in Afghanistan, and everybody knows, and if you don't know, my brother right here is a veteran, and he was actually deployed to Afghanistan. And there should be pictures coming up, actually, as a matter of fact, for our viewers to see. So when you're talking, Joel, you're talking as if you were actually boots on the ground. So
I was boots on ground.
Yeah.
I spent about a year or a little more than a year in theater.
Yeah.
And the whole deployment was just under a year and a half.
Yeah.
It might have been over a year, maybe a year and 2 months in theater. I forget exactly the time because I extended beyond my unit. Like I was there for the whole time. They went home. I stayed in theater, and I was there longer because I wanted to continue the mission. We were moving forward. I was helping our guys, and I felt like we were making ground. And then my wife got sick, so I came home. But the key point is, I thought we were making ground in some areas. Not as much as I would like. And at the time, we were our job when we were in theater was to be counterinsurgency. Well, our job was to seek out the enemy and remove them from the equation. Kill them, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Or arrest them, or whatever it is that the situation required at the time. And then we also had PRT. We were SecFor, or security forces, for the PRTs, which is Provisional Reconstruction Teams.
Okay.
And those PRTs were there that they were building roads and schools and helping people out.
Okay, so that was the reconstruction team.
Yep, that was a reconstruction team. Because when you go to war in a country, and this is what America does, we go and we blow things up, we try to fix it afterward. We don't just try to leave them in a mess and say, oh, hey, we came in, we blew up your country, we did our thing, good luck, see you later. No, we usually try to fix it. In this case, that's why, one of the many reasons why, but why I'm so pissed off too about the way he did it, because he basically just tucked tail and ran, and said, fuck you to all of the Afghans that were there to support and help us, and the rest of the country that we just left them in shambles. We basically came in, broke their country. It was great at first; things were going good. But if we would have withdrawn properly, or my thought is, we should have left the base there. I as a taxpayer, I would have been happy to leave a base there to maintain control on the region, our control and our interest in the region, to make sure that if additional uprisings happen, we could put them to bed. But now we don't even have that. We have a running airfield. We're evacuating from the airfield, and we're going, okay, Taliban, don't attack us. If you do, we're going to stomp you. But we didn't keep our word, and we're running with our tails between our legs, and we're big, strong. No, basically he made us look so weak and pathetic. It's ridiculous.
I have a question about that, though. I think history repeats itself, doesn't it? Because this is not the first time we've left without an exit strategy. Do I have to remind you of Iraq?
Iraq, we did a much better job at that. I think we did a much better job at exiting Iraq. Yeah. How about let's go back to Vietnam?
Let's go back there.
Vietnam is a better example. So, while was Iraq still broken and have issues? Yes.
Yeah.
But I think Vietnam is much closer to what's happening right now.
Yes, and a lot of people would agree. This is the interesting thing. There's a lot that's come out just recently. Lots of people have lots of stuff to say. So later I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a quote quiz. But I wanted to say this too. There never before have I actually witnessed, and you're going to see you're going to see some pictures coming up here of, you mentioned, people literally desperately running for their lives, grabbing onto the outside of airplanes from 3,000 feet, dropping to their death. Were they running from the Taliban? Were they running from, who knows what they
didn't want to be left.
They didn't want to be left.
That's a news reporting.
And so there's some things about that, though, because right now, because the Taliban is ruling there and reigning there again, there's a thought. You heard the Taliban gave like 30 days for us to be out of there, or at least until the end of the month or something like that. To be out of
Yeah,
there.
we have a time limit, and it was them that said it, not us.
Well, what is your theory on that? Because I have a theory on that.
Well, the fact is that they said it because they're showing the dominance and the power. They took over and dropped the Afghan government in 11 days. They dropped an entire country in 11 days because we didn't, as though we trained them, we equipped them, and did everything else like that. We suddenly pulled our support, and we didn't follow through what we were supposed to do. So all of that strength was suddenly gone, and that was what was giving the Afghan government some, I think, some courage, just because they knew
Leverage, yeah.
that the U.S. government was, while they were withdrawing, they still had the backing of a strong, solid country that was going to be there for them and do the right thing. And now, and all of a sudden, when we started running, basically, with a rapid extract and not meeting what our agreements were, that suddenly withdrew all of that credibility, I would say, with the people that were there, and saying they're just leaving us. We're not going to have any support. And so, if you were a soldier and you're going, hey, the support system I know is behind there that's going to help support if we start having issues, we need additional training, we know that we have the backing of a larger ally. If you're in the government and they're soldiers and stuff, and you suddenly saw that go away, would you want to keep fighting? I mean, now, am I saying it's okay that they're not fighting? No. They should be able to step up and defend their country. We took our country from a world power, and we were a bunch of people with pitchforks and muskets, and we took our country.
Oh, you're referring to
all the way back. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can, if they have the passion and desire, they can take their country. But at the same time, it doesn't help when you're the largest ally. You're backing your security stuff is kind of disappears.
Who trusts the Taliban? I don't trust the Taliban.
I don't trust the Taliban.
And when they give a time for us to be out, what are they going to do after that time's up? I think they're bluffing. I think that they want nothing more than for you and for everybody, or for Americans, to be out. Because they know if they try something crazy, we'll be back there with full force. So my theory is, I'm not sure if I don't know if it's a full rule, I can't say it. A faux rule that they have. Because, I mean, obviously we were able to hold them back for 20 years. There was no other 9/11.
Well, yeah, exactly. We held them back, and we actually all but decimated their entire organization. And now, over the last few years, they've been able to kind of build back up with enough strength that they, like you said, took down the country in 11 days.
Absolutely.
Because we had withdrawn our support so much. Now, granted, it's not our job to go in and fight someone else's civil war. It's not our job to go in and hold and maintain control on Afghanistan. But it is our job to secure the American people from potential terrorism and potential issues. And by Taliban taking over Afghanistan, they've now developed an Islamic State, and they've gotten all of the resources that we gave the Afghan people. Yeah. They now have those that they could turn around and do something against our country with. They can fight. If we had to go back in there, now we're fighting with a fully equipped, including now they have air assets, a fully equipped force.
Yes.
I saw pictures, which I believe they've already been shown, but they're holding, one of them's holding a 240 Bravo. 240 Bravo is an American-based machine gun. Okay, trained on it when I was going through my OSEC. Okay. They also are holding an M16A4, and if you look at that 240 Bravo, it has a number in grease pen written at number 9. Okay. They don't write American-based numbers. They have a different way of Aramaic writing. They don't write in our way we write a number 9. Right. That was an American weapon that we numbered that Taliban soldier was holding.
Wow. They
got our weapons caches in there because we did not do a good job. When I say it was a clusterfuck, it was a clusterfuck. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they're driving around MRAPs.
Right. What are those?
MRAPs are the vehicles that we had that were designed specifically so that when an IED blew up, it would. They had a V hole, so most of the explosion would go up and out
Right.
instead of impact the bottom like a bottom of a Humvee where it's flat. It would impact it and basically decimate it.
Gotcha.
The MRAP had a V-shaped hull and was much more up armored and can hold more people. Think of like a Deuce and a Half, but with like better designs to it and can transport troops.
Right.
It has like bat systems and everything else on it. But the but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they had the ability to they have access to those, or they have seized some of those. The Taliban soldiers did. I wouldn't be. I think I saw in one picture that they actually were flying our Blackhawks that we had given to the Afghan army. Mm-hmm. They were flying those and using them against us, or not us, but the Afghan military.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that there is a bipartisan effort or even a collaboration between right and left that can come to center on the fact that Biden made a mistake, a major mistake? Mm-hmm. Do you think that there's unity within that agreement, that there was a mistake that was made?
I think the original agreement that was made with them, it was done with a position of strength. And it left the country in strength, and it left the Taliban going, we shouldn't try something because America's going to come in and whoop butt. When we didn't meet those agreements and we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and the history of what this president has done as far as the way he's handled things in foreign policy, the way he's handled their own country issues, I think we're showing great weakness. And I think that that's what the Taliban's seeing. And that's why they were emboldened to do what they did. So
I think that Democrats and Republicans can agree that this was not a right way to withdraw from Afghanistan.
So a couple of comments from people. So the Taliban has said that the Taliban has their weapons and things. Yeah, we mentioned that. They are taking girls over 12, raping them, and making them marry their soldiers. Like I said, this is the thing you're going to see more and more of.
Actually, I want to talk about the girls just a little bit by giving a quote from someone, and I want you to guess what this is, or guess who this is. It's just along the lines of what was said. The president is to be commended for the clarity of purpose of his statement on Afghanistan and the actions that was taken. And I quote, "The Taliban must know that the world is watching their actions. We are deeply concerned about the reports regarding Taliban brutal treatment of Afghans, especially women and girls. The U.S., the international community, and the Afghan government must do everything we can to protect the women and girls from inhumane treatment by the Taliban." Who do you think made that statement?
Who? I don't know. There's a million people speaking.
I know. Now, NP.
No. We'll go with this. Do I think it's Democrat or Republican?
Do you think it's a Democrat or a Republican? Let's start there.
At least helps me narrow it down.
Yeah.
I think that came from a Republican. I'll say Democrat.
Democrat? You're going to say Democrat. Okay. And she is closely connected to Biden.
I'm guessing Nancy Pelosi.
That was Nancy Pelosi's quote. So this is a woman who cares about women. And she said that that action was swift and as good as it can be. And then and we talked about girls, and girls, you know about this more than I do actually. That girls are oppressed there. Talk about an oppressed people. Women can't go out in public. They can't have higher education. Blah blah blah. I even read this.
Go ahead.
I even read this that a woman walking on the street with a male cannot wear high heel shoes because it would draw attention to the woman.
Well, it's actually that is like that's a a first world statement. So let's go all the way back to the way it is or was when we got there.
Yeah.
Women, and this is something that a local national told me. Women are generally used for the purpose of reproduction.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
In a lot of cases, they are slaves. They are there to do the cooking, take care of the kids. They don't have the rights. They don't have rights. They are not educated. They must cover their face and their head. And in some cases,
they can't speak loudly.
For example, if a man was to rape a woman there, then she could not speak out against him.
Yeah.
But if a man speaks out against a woman, she can be stoned to death or shot.
Stoned to death.
Oh, and then I won't say stoned. Actually, there's other ways they would kill him.
What about this one? A woman wouldn't be allowed to be on TV or have photos published.
Nope. If a woman was to, this is take two scenarios. If a woman was to throw gasoline on her husband and set him on fire,
yeah,
she'd be killed.
Public beatings or anything like that, or what?
They'd probably burn her herself. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to kill him.
Yeah.
That they would kill.
True oppression.
If a woman had gasoline thrown on her or set on fire, nothing would happen to the man.
Yeah.
He was justified in what he did. He had a good reason, I'm sure. That's the way it was. I actually treated women that had actually been doused in gasoline and set on fire. I treated kids that were dipped in hot oils and boiling water thrown on and beaten within an inch of their life with sticks. I've seen the treatment, and that's done under Sharia law. Yeah. And I've seen the treatment that they did to the women over there, and that was back in 2009, 2010. It had greatly changed over time, but and it's starting to improve. Women were getting educated. They were starting to be able to speak out more. Yeah. They were starting to raise their status in there. And now we're going to see all that go probably not only back to where it was, but it might even be worse because it'll be because some women have gotten to the point where they could speak out and they could do these things. They're starting to understand what freedoms were. Yeah. And suddenly those are going to be pulled away, so I can see it being a lot worse for them now. So one thing, it was just a culture at the time. They understood. They didn't know what they were missing because that's what their culture was. That's where they were at. They didn't see the outside world piece of it. But now that their eyes have been open to what freedom is, how to properly be treated, what women can do, and now that's suddenly been stripped away from them again.
Well, the conversation leads to this. We as Americans, we and I've heard this discussed before. We go over to a country that has a tyrannical government. We overthrow that government, but then what do we do to make sure that when we're gone, they're able to sustain that way of life?
Yeah.
We're right back to where we started.
Well, I think we're actually, I don't see we're back to where we started yet because we're not at another 9/11 today. So that's where we started with this whole process.
Talking about Afghan women.
As far as Afghan women, I don't think we're all the way back there, but we will be rather quickly. Yeah. I think, like I said, I think it'll be worse.
But it was a success with 9/11. Yes. Definitely.
Well, yes, but doesn't I think it might. I think the way that, like I said again, the way that Biden has handled this one, it has made it so bad, and he has clusterfucked the situation so bad. Yeah. That I think we've actually made our situation worse. So that because before Taliban didn't control the country, they had a strong presence. Right. But they didn't control the country. Now they control it and the assets of it.
So we gave them a little bit of break to regroup and then come back.
Well, no, we didn't give them a break to regroup and come back. We beat them down, and then we ran away and let weapons and pissed off people. And think about all the soldiers and stuff that we trained in things. Yes, a lot of them feel abandoned right now. Yes, and because of that feeling, what's to say that they're not going to turn around and just hand themselves over to join the Taliban, and suddenly they got our.
You can't beat them, join them. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's always a possibility. There's so much unknown there because we did not do the withdrawal right. It's not that we withdrew. Withdrawing's okay, but do it right and make sure you understand that that in a situation like that, listen to your advisors. Advisors were saying, keep
presidents,
keep control in the region. Yeah, and they just
four prior presidents, they didn't try that.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this though: what do we do about now Afghan refugees or possibilities of that?
Don't bring them back here. I'm all about humanitarian, this and that, and help people. Do not bring those refugees back here.
Here we go. One more. D.C. I'm going to tell you. So the quote is: "The Biden administration screwed this up beyond belief, but there was always going to be the case with any kind of withdrawal like this. The incompetence of Biden administration on this is really overwhelming. There needs to be a resignation. There needs to be firings. They could have done this. They couldn't have done this any worse. We have American citizens left behind. We have people getting shot in Kabul airport at this moment. It's such a complete disaster. And then he goes on to say this. You might give it away. He tweets, "Hey, Jack, why does the Taliban get an account? You see why Americans are pissed about your BS standards." This terrorist organization. I respect him a ton, and his initials are DC. And first, tell me what party he's affiliated with.
I'm gonna go with Republican.
Well, ding ding.
Yeah, and I don't know
Okay, so
there's too many on that one.
You gave me a patch one day because I had really admired this guy, and it was like
Dick Cheney probably.
Not Dick Cheney.
Well, you said DC, so I just went Dick Cheney.
Come on now, he's a veteran.
Dick Cheney's a veteran, isn't he?
I don't know. Okay, Dan Crenshaw.
Dan
Crenshaw.
Dan Crenshaw. Yep.
Dan
Okay.
Crenshaw. Yes.
I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why I said Dick Cheney because I haven't heard from him forever.
I love myself some Dan Crenshaw. He is intelligent. He's articulate, and he's a veteran.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
yeah, that was one. So that was good job though.
Dick Cheney.
You Dick.
I'd like to withdraw my statement on that one and take my
That's
public,
okay.
Take my public flogging.
Hey guys, he never knew this one. Okay, he never knew that. Here it goes. Okay. I was the last person in the room before President Biden decided to withdraw U.S. forces. The reporter, was that person a Democrat or a Republican?
I see reporter, probably a Democrat.
Okay, and I withdraw the statement of a reporter. She works very closely with the president, and she's extremely quiet right now. Now, if that doesn't give it away.
I'm gonna go Democrat again, but I'm gonna let you tell me.
No, come on. Okay, she works closely with the president, but she's very quiet right now. I think she might even be hiding in the bunker with Biden.
Oh, you're talking about Kamala Harris?
Of course. Come on now. Kamala Harris. She said
I forget that she's even there because she's
not president.
She's a moron.
Well, she also did this.
She's a lying moron.
Well, I think she's setting Biden up for the next president.
Yeah, someone mentioned that.
Throw him under the bus.
That's what someone mentioned earlier in a comment. Is that they're setting up Biden to be impeached so that Kamala Harris can take over. So, and if you think we're a laughing stock now, wait till she takes the spot.
Well, listen to her comment on this one. This is a president who has an extraordinary amount of courage. He is someone who I have seen over and over making decisions based on what he truly believes. Wow. He truly believes is right and the right thing to do. So he's making he's making judgments on what he truly believes. And
I want to make a very. I've said this before. I'm going to say it over and over again. It's not about what he believes. Now that can play a factor into it, but it's not about as a leader of in our city, as a city council member. It's not about what I believe.
Yes.
It's not about.
Yes.
And while that plays a factor into it, it's about what the people are telling me they want.
Well, can I tell you?
Listen to the people.
You're not an island when you're the president of the United States. You have advisors.
Lots of them.
Right? And if they're
Everywhere.
saying all the same thing and they're telling you not to, if you go off of what you believe and this is what you believe, whoa. Because he got on TV today and told us we should take the Delta variant. And he said we would be safe.
Take the Delta. Take the Delta variant.
Take the Delta.
What?
Don't take the Delta variant.
I'm not taking any Delta
variant. The booster shot. That's what he got on there and said. I said, what a great PR ploy. Because then, at the end of that lovely statement, he said, God bless America and our troops. And then left. I was like, really?
Someone needs to punch that guy in the throat.
And then he fell down the steps. So,
yeah. That was the best video I've seen in a while.
So, yes. Do you want to hear a quote by Kevin McCarthy?
Quick comment that said, this is a president that doesn't know what day it is. Yes.
Doesn't what?
Unless it said, this is a president that doesn't know what day it is. And sure he does, if it says it on his teleprompter.
He can't read the teleprompter.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You can't read the teleprompter.
No!
So never mind. I withdraw again.
The House Republican leader, Kevin McCarthy, issued the following statement. And stop me whenever you want me to, okay?
Yeah.
It says, for 20 years, our troops have endured months-long deployments, hardships, a time away from their families to serve their countries during tours of combat in Afghanistan.
Didn't Mike Pence say that?
Mike Pence might have...
He made a nice statement today.
He did?
It sounded close to what you were saying. Already.
Oh, well, yeah. They dutifully respond to the call of service and bravery, fought to protect our national interest abroad. For far too many, the sacrifice meant life-altering injuries, and some even paid the ultimate sacrifice with their lives, as I'm sure you know. It should have been the government's responsibility to execute the responsible exit as we withdraw the remaining forces from the country. But in a matter of months, the Biden administration has led a botched withdrawal process that has now predictably handed an entire country over to terrorists. And I end my statement there.
I also want to say this openly too, to get people thinking the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we need to impeach. I think we need to impeach Biden for this, but there is just as much, I think, blame that's going to fall on Kamala Harris as well, because she takes responsibility as much as she's a vice president of the United States. I think she should be taking responsibility as much for the failure as should Biden.
Well, wasn't she a women's advocate? And where is she now? Is she speaking on that? She should be speaking to those women, because that was what she ran on.
Yeah, exactly. She should be speaking to the women, but at the same time, she should also be out there
At the border, maybe?
Well,
Okay,
she should have been making what action she could to counter or to bring into question his actions. And in the end, he is a commander-in-chief. He gets to make the final decision. I get that. But this, as much as I would, if I saw our mayor making a bad decision, I would say, Mayor, do you realize this? Here's the information. Hey, we need to counter this. You can't do this. We need to do something. I would make noise about it without violating OPSEC, of course. I'd make noise about it. Do something. Stomp my feet. What's the word I'm looking for? That metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks to the crew there.
Yes, they're helping us out.
But yeah, I would be stomping my feet, doing something to make some noise, so that we could try to get some attention on this before he cabocled it up so bad.
Yeah.
But there was nothing, and so now, granted, I don't know the full situation. I don't know everything behind it. I will say that I don't know if there was a gag order he put on or whatever. I don't know what he did, but either way, she should have pushed way more than she did to try to stop this.
Yeah.
She is the vice president. She's the second most powerful person in the entire country.
Do you know what I love about Mike Pence? He was always behind Trump. Mm-hmm. Even if he said nothing, he was in the same picture. Where is she?
Yep.
Where is she?
Someone just said she is the last person in the room, and she is just as responsible. She probably pulled the puppet strings.
You know she did. Biden.
I picture him with one of those things you pull out, and then it goes back in as they walk around.
Yes! What are those things called? Marionette. Yeah. Thank you, George.
There's a big thing here I want to point out. You know what? Biden is a son of a bitch, because he can't even admit that he may have made a mistake.
No. And
said, "Oh, I realized that I went with what I thought was best. We pushed for it. Yes, they may not have come out the way we expected. There could have been better ways to do it. I did the best we thought was based upon the information I had. But we're gonna try to fix this and make it better. It wasn't executed perfectly."
Bro, give me a high five, because I have the quote right here.
Boom.
The quote: President Biden must immediately focus all his efforts on making sure that there is a plan to safely extract all American service members and civilians still remaining in Afghanistan. He also owes the American public an answer on what he plans to do to make sure that the region doesn't turn into a breeding ground for more violent extremists that all led to large-scale global attacks on terrorism. And
Exactly.
that wasn't a quote from him, but that was a quote from Dan.
Crenshaw.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, exactly. That's why I said leaving a base in there to maintain control on the region.
That's exactly what
Not
you said.
just Afghanistan, but the region.
Yep.
So, by the way, another note that was in here that reminds me, yes, instead of Biden apologizing, he doubled down and said he's proud of it.
Yep.
That'd be like shitting in your hand and showing it to your friend and say, "Hey, I'm proud of that."
Well, it almost sounded like he was blaming the military that said we didn't do a good enough job to train.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I heard. If anybody knows any different,
I'd say fuck him in that case. Our military put their lives out there, and they worked their ass off, and they trained those guys best they could. When we got there, the Afghan army would literally, they would get behind something, and the Taliban did the same thing too, but they would hold the gun up above something, and they would shoot over top it without looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of aiming and firing, they were just... It was hilarious.
Wow.
We look like, I watched a video when we're doing this, and we look like a bunch of apes.
That's crazy. Well, I was going to tell you this too. You said something I wanted to draw attention to. Oh, Biden also said that the war would have ended this way.
The war wouldn't.
But earlier, remember, he promised. I don't know if he promised, but he actually said, "Hey, it's not going to end this way." At least for a while.
Oh, anything that comes out of most politicians' mouths is bullshit and lies, anyways.
Yeah.
But
a month later, he's saying now there was no way for it not to. It was
the war was going to end. Yes,
we have to end wars.
The war needed to end.
Yeah.
That's not the argument. And he needs to get his head out of his ass because that's not the argument. The argument is everybody agrees the war needed to end, but it did not need to end the way he did it.
Right.
That's like parking your car by ramming it into a tree and said, "Hey, I got to park the car." No, you find a way to properly park the car in the driveway, nice and safe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like a train wreck.
Well, aren't we supposed to? We always tell our kids, leave the place better than we found it.
Well, yeah, that's one thing definitely. But here's the other part too: is he definitely has dementia because he must not remember what happened in Vietnam and the bullshit we left there and how that worked out.
Wasn't he alive?
But isn't that? Yeah, he probably was. Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, he was part of it. He was part of Vietnam. Yeah, so he should know better. But the thing is that this is what happens when you don't push and teach proper history, and you don't understand your history. You will repeat it. This is a perfect example. Those who don't know history are doomed. Not might be doomed. Are doomed to repeat it.
So speaking of that, a poll that was conducted on August 13th through the 16th among the sample of 1,999 registered voters indicated that 25% of American voters think that withdrawal from Afghanistan is going well. Just 49% of voters continue to support the withdrawal, down from 69%, which says basically that only 25% believe it.
Yeah. I actually I was watching the stats that they were showing on Fox News the other day. It was he's got one of the lowest approval ratings in history.
Wasn't it like 35%?
He's down there in the low end.
35, child.
And I mean he had the economy is shit because of his policies.
Yes.
He's being overridden by the legal system left and right, especially because he just lost his border policy stuff. He's screwing up our foreign policies with all the wars. And he's bowing down to local groups that like Antifa and those guys, and it's letting him bending it over and it's letting him take it. It's like he doesn't know how to run domestic policy. He doesn't know how to run foreign policy. I mean, what the hell is he even there for? I don't know how he even got elected.
Oh, I know how. Because we wanted a backlash from Trump. Remember, he was very outspoken and threatening, but I bet you this would have never happened on his watch. He's way too badass.
I don't even think that was the case. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details of other things that have come out in the last 6 months or so of audits, but you get where I'm going with those ones.
For Trump's?
Oh no, haven't you heard about the audits and the election audits recently?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And I don't want to go deep into
I was
those.
like, he was caught in something.
No, the election audits have shown.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
You might as well finish it.
Well, the election audit showing that in multiple different states that there was overwhelming fraud and mistakes and errors, and that in many cases, I think there was at least 2 states that could have been overturned to go for Trump.
No, you're not. Are you shitting me?
No joke. Like,
I
because
know.
it's done by county by county by county.
Right.
One county's found out. Okay, well this county actually had this, and this county this one, and when you add them together, guess what? They should have their votes should have gone to Trump at that point. So yeah. Hey. Okay, guys. Well, we are actually about 10 minutes late for.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, guys, and then we will be right back. Please stick with us.
Yes.
Do me a favor, share this everywhere right now, because when we come back, we're gonna talk about the Clackamas County board meeting last Thursday.
Okay.
We talked about all the mandates and everything else, and we're gonna want to talk about this because they're trying to shut us down, possibly even further than they did originally.
What?
Yeah. So let's get back into that afterwards. So. After the break, we'll talk and give you some more information. See you then.
Far beyond the reaches of the city lights, in the edge of the concrete jungle, where kith and kin meets rum and gin. There, a fairer type of life can thrive. Many men may search their entire lives, never to find one, but here, in their natural habitat, exists the home of the Backwoods wives.
Hey everybody, welcome to Backwoods Minute. I am Backwoods brother Tony, and I want to share with you a quote. The world may not change if you adopt a child, but to that child, their world will change. Devoted means that you place their needs, the child's needs, above your own if you're an adopted parent. My mother modeled that pretty well. She modeled that in heart. One of the things that she did was, in heart, she adopted me at the age of 14. I was in her home since the age of 6, so she cared for me as I was her own child for many years before making that choice. And as a single mom, adopting a young man, it was not a popular thing to do. But she did, and she went the extra mile to hide me in a place and basically said, "Courts, if you want to take my son, I really want you to prove that you love him more than I do." So she cared for me in heart. Then she cared for me in head. She constantly made sure that my academics were in place. She went from school to school with me as a visually impaired person. We'd gone to a total of 9 schools where she would literally sit in class with me and help me if I didn't have those means to be helped. So she helped me in head. And lastly, she helped me in hand. Everything that she had, she passed down to me. And I can understand why she would. And in some ways, I wondered why she did what she did when I wasn't her biological child. She used her heart in adoption, her head in making sure I became the person I am today, which is a therapist. And she used her hand by making sure that I knew that I wasn't walking this life or my early life alone. She did what she had to do. So I leave you with this quote again. The world may not change if you adopt a child, but to that child, their world will change. Thank you for joining us. Back, everybody. We're so glad that you are with us. We're having some hot topics. I tell you what, today I'm quite fired up. I had to apologize to everybody. But anyway, man, we have some audience participation.
Oh, yes,
Bring
yes.
us
I
in.
want to make sure before we jump into the next subject, which is Clackamas County,
Yeah.
and the meeting, what happened there, I want to read some of these comments that came up. I got a chance to read a couple of them over the break here.
Okay.
But let me scroll back through these. So one of the big things, and I actually didn't know about this right till right to the break, so it's new to me. But apparently, it's been announced to the Americans that are in Afghanistan, they are not to call them, but they have to go to a website if they need help. Don't call us if you need help. If you're stuck in a terrorist state and we're running away, don't call us. Just go to our website and maybe send an email. Send us a little contact us message.
So, meaning someone wants to go to sleep and they don't want to be up all night answering desperate phone calls after they created the mess.
I am ashamed of that. So
don't call us, we'll call you.
Thousands of people are going to be left there.
Yeah.
And this one comment says, I just want to read the comment. They told Americans in Afghanistan not to call, but to use a website if they need help. Thousands are going to be left there. We will be seeing public beheadings. Yeah, I won't be. Al Jazeera Network won't be surprised.
Not okay. Well, I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm a black man. I won't be using the internet. If I need help, I'm going help. I'm not going to use the internet. I'm going to make a phone call.
Yeah, exactly. This one here says.
Let's do that nicely.
Yeah, dude. Oh, at least you can do is open the damn phone up for people to call. Come on now.
Yeah, seriously.
How is he going to fix it? Does he have a plan or just words? That's another comment. And another comment says he has no plan. If you can't get to the airport, you are screwed. We stopped paying the Afghan army, so they left. Oh, that's what it is. We stopped paying them.
We stopped paying them.
Yeah.
Your eviction notice.
Yeah. Well, my loyalty to my job is based upon me getting paid. Right. My loyalty to my country does not go based upon me getting paid.
That's right.
Now, granted, my family will come before my country, but at the same time, if I'm not getting a paycheck, I'm still going to fight for my country. So
your family sacrificed.
And so the fact that the Afghan army is suddenly not getting paid, well, there could be a different culture there. They may not have the same type of patriotism we do. And so them not getting paid may mean like, hey, I got to go do something else so I can get paid so I can support my family. I don't know.
How do you feel, though? How do you feel you didn't get paid, you have a heart to serve your country and to have the decision made for you that, hey, those 20 years that you spent there can be snuffed out in just a moment's notice of a decision or a felt sense or a basement moment. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
What you mean as far as me as an American soldier, if I was an Afghan soldier?
American soldier.
Well, I mean, I didn't spend 20 years myself there. I spent a year and a half. I completed my mission. I'm fine with it. I think I'm not talking about what I did there. My mission was complete. We did our job.
Got you. Do you think so? If you were to
20
give
years, the mission was complete. As far as the job of reducing terrorism, the job of trying to, the new mission became in its last year or so. A new mission came out is how to withdraw, and Biden screwed that mission up. Our mission of doing the job of going in, beating ass, and killing Osama bin Laden, and then the next mission became reconstruction and getting the Afghan people back up, rebuilding the army, and fixing what we broke and those type of things to try to get them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. We did that. We did that job too. They were fine, but the job of properly withdrawing and not just making sure things are properly handed off to them so that they can support and stay on their own 2 feet without the training wheels.
Yeah.
That's the part that we screwed up. That's the mission that was failed, and that was the mission that was handed off partway through to Biden to complete, and he has failed that mission under his watch.
So, what do you say to other veterans who?
If they're a veteran and they were there and they did their job, we completed our mission. Our mission was complete. We did our job. The newest mission of properly removing ourselves from the country and handing that off, that is what failed. That is the mission that was failed, and that was the mission that was handed over from President Trump to Biden, and Biden failed to complete the mission. He let it fail, and he's letting it continue to fail instead of stopping and fixing the problem. So,
Good.
So the 25% of people idiots is what this comment says.
Yeah.
What's scary is who are they going to allow to win in 2024? That's a whole nother discussion.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So let's transition a little bit from tyrannical dictating terrorist organization like Kate Brown. I mean, by the Taliban, into another one, Kate Brown. So
Are the two synonymous?
I somewhat.
Some would agree, actually.
Yeah. So Fear Brown.
Fear Brown.
Fear Brown. So she
looks like Tales from the Crypt. I tell you what.
She does the same thing Biden does, and ignores good intelligence and the scientific facts. And then when you say, "Hey, Fear Brown, where is the evidence to your decisions, and how are you following our constitutional guidelines?" And there's silence. So there was a meeting last Thursday in our county, and it was the county commissioners board meeting, and they were open up to, and as we encouraged people last Wednesday to get out and go to the board meetings, and as many other people have been doing, they showed up, and they showed up in groves. And while our nonprofit, the Educated Community Watch, was running a cooling center, I couldn't go myself. You went. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell us a little bit about...
Yeah, the voice from beyond.
And Backwoods Wives,
Brandy
went, so as well.
Uh-huh.
But tell us a little bit about it.
You know, actually, there were so many people packed into that room. It was over 200, 300 maybe, but we were standing room only, and a lot of this word like-minded people had been thrown around. I will say that they definitely had one mission, and that one mission was to speak and say, hey, I really don't mind the opposite. I don't mind the other person not or choosing not to wear a mask or to wear a mask. And I don't, that's not my wheelhouse to judge whether they should or should not wear a mask. But for me, or to get a vaccine, but for me, I don't want to be told to get a vaccine or made to get a vaccine or be made to wear a mask. And I, especially as a mother or a father of children, don't want someone else in government making or co-parenting with me and making that decision for me and my child.
I'll sum this up in a couple of things. Freedom of choice. Fuck off, Governor Brown. I did not marry Governor Brown, and she did not mother my child. my mother, or my child's mother, and
When
me.
you put that that way, that's real scary.
Yeah. My wife and I parent our child.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah.
And anyone else that has a problem with that can fuck off.
Yeah.
And I'm being really serious about that because she will not dictate, and the school district or anyone else will not dictate what happens with my child when it comes down to their health decisions and things like that. That's my choice.
We're not arguing mask mask effectiveness or lack thereof.
Exactly.
We're not arguing that. It's
Scientists,
just freedom of choice.
The science argues that for itself.
Yes.
So
Freedom of choice.
People can choose not to look at it, but the science is out there enough to argue that, and I'm not going to go back and forth on it.
Right.
What I'm arguing is what is guaranteed to us by the Constitution of the United States of
Let's
America.
talk about that. Yes.
And the Constitution of Oregon too.
Yep.
And that is the freedom and the right to choose and the right to freely govern ourselves.
Yes.
That means that we can assemble when we want. We can openly speak how we want. We can be protected from improper search and seizure. We can't be arrested for whatever they want. They have to be able to have the right to face our accusers, and they have to be able to basically be able to prove and give us to a due process. There's all these different things that come through the Bill of Rights. There's 10 rights in that, or 11, I think now.
Yeah.
I forget. My goodness, I'm having a brain fart on how many are in the Bill of Rights, and I want to correct myself on that.
You're gonna look at that, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to. I feel really dumb right now because there's more than it is 10.
10.
I knew it was right.
You're fast. Look at you. I almost
So,
said 10, but I didn't.
It is 10.
Yes. Thank you for Google. You know, this is not a
Brain fart.
partisan issue or bipartisan. This is an issue of the freedom of choice. This
Mm-hmm.
is what it comes down to, and I hate to oversimplify it, but it's simple. It is very simple. But what we're seeing is the right saying left, you're sheep, and the left pointing to the right and saying you're murderers.
And you know
I
what?
saw it today.
I don't care about their bullshit antics.
Yeah.
I'm arguing one point and one point only. We have the right to govern ourselves in the place. What I mean by that is we have the right to make our own health decisions. We have the right to make our own decisions on how we move about freely. We have the right to decisions on how we make about our children.
Yeah.
That is the right to govern yourself.
Look, if my child's sick, I'm going to keep her home.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's COVID, OVID, whatever it is.
If you
I'm
want
gonna
to
keep
go
her
out
home.
there and you want to give your child a vaccine, that's your choice. You want to take the vaccine, more power to you. That's your choice. You want to wear a mask and walk on outside or go swimming with it or driving your car by yourself with a mask, that's your choice. Do what you want to do. But you're not going to shame me into it, and you're not going to tell me what I can and can't do when it comes to a mask, and you're not going to tell me what I can and can't do when it comes down to my child. Period.
So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You and I should say this lightly because I'm not sure what your relationship with Tootie Smith is, but what do you think about her?
I think Tootie's great. So I got a chance to. I did not see her full speech in the beginning.
She
but
was there,
I heard
by the way.
amazing things about the speech in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit disappointed at her at first, her statement at the end.
At the end.
But when I summed it all together, basically what she's saying is that the government itself, as a governor, as a governing body, they can't just go, oh, we're going to say to the state, fuck off.
Right.
And that is a standard answer you're going to get.
Yes.
And if you're going to do something beyond that, it takes more than just make a decision on the spot right there.
It is.
I get that.
Yeah.
So
she had to keep it balanced.
But I want to come back around and say this. There, as a leader of the people, it's our job at some point to say, we're here to represent the people. As an elected official, that goes for any elected official across the entire country. The job is to the people first, not to the Constitution, and not to the law, and not to what you think is right or your own personal feelings. It is to the people first, then the Constitution. That is the order in which the elected official is meant to be there for. So if the people say, this is what we want, then that is what the elected official is meant to stand for.
And you sound like an elected official. And that is what they all say. That's what they all say. But sometimes actions speak louder. You said that yourself. Action speaks louder than words.
Exactly. And so we posted a recent article. Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of around the whole state is when for different people posting it, but even our post got lots of responses and stuff.
Oh,
and
the one that you posted?
From
Woo!
Union County
Yes.
Sheriff.
Yep.
Wrote a letter, and I'm going to sum it up in a few words here. And it was professional. I'll say it was very professional. But I'm going to sum it up in a
Letterhead
few
and
words.
everything.
Yep. And he was very professional in what he said.
Yep.
But basically, the letter said, "Fuck off, Kate Brown. We're going to do what we want."
In professional
I love it.
terms.
I love it. Professionally written in a big
Professionally
letter.
written with
You
a
can-
letterhead. That was
You
really
can read the
nice.
letter. It's actually it's right
Facebook?
here. Yeah, right here on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Backwoods Brothers?
It's just a couple posts down. You can scroll down quick and take a look at it.
Yep.
It's in there, but it basically says, "Fuck off, Kate Brown. We're gonna do what we want," and that is what the elected officials should do. That is what the county needs to do. That is what our sheriff's office needs to do. And basically, they say we're not going to enforce your tyrannical laws. You aren't listening to the rest of the state. And if Portland wants to be all locked down and do their thing, tell them, okay, Portland, you can lock down and do your thing, but the rest of the state can govern themselves.
Right.
Also, all they're asking for is let the local government govern it, make the decisions, okay, and then those local governments need to make the decision to let the people make the choices for themselves.
But Joel, and I might be arguing a satire here, but and it hits close to home. People's livelihoods are at stake. Again, my wife, by the end of next month, has to make a decision whether she wants to be tested weekly or.
Are they actually offering that? Because in some states,
they're firing, and actually, there's a
federal
letter.
Government too.
Yeah, I had a letter actually in my office. I forgot to bring it, but it specifically states from Kate Brown that some will be fired if they don't. Government officials.
Yeah, especially law enforcement. It's a way to weed out law enforcement and make them more compliant. That's why I see it as.
Well, they're already weeding out law enforcement.
What I'm saying is, if
we're just adding a booster shot to that.
If you're Kate Brown and you were taking the same steps as Hitler did, and I'm saying she is stepping
playbook.
She is taking it right out of the playbook of Hitler.
Yep.
Amongst many other dictators have done, such as Stalin and all that as well.
Yeah.
So if you're Kate Brown and you want to make a change or something, and you say, "Hey, I'm going to use COVID, and if they don't get the shot and they don't wear their mask and they don't do exactly what I say and be 100% compliant, then I'm going to fire them." I'm going to basically they're fired, and you rule out all those officers that understand what our Constitution and freedom's about, and you put in officers that are too scared to do anything and are totally compliant, right? And then you have a police force that'll do whatever you tell it to do.
That's it.
So
It's perfect. It's perfect mental warfare. Perfect mental warfare.
Yep. I'm not going to, Kate Brown, she's not an idiot.
No.
She's an idiot for doing dumb things, but she's not an idiot as far as she can still think.
Yeah.
And so therefore she's got an agenda. And if you step back far enough, you can see the agenda. But when you're so up in it and you're arguing with your neighbors so much,
Yes.
and it's always an argument. You're on Facebook and your nose is up into here.
Yes.
And you're always looking at all this stuff and you're arguing about, oh, mask, no mask, or oh, COVID this or that or whatever, and you're arguing about the stupidest shit, you miss the picture it's clear as day.
If I can get them to fight and argue and focus on each other, I can move around the room and do whatever I want.
Exactly. So a couple comments. There's a bunch we want to get to.
Yeah.
So Tootie Smith for president. We have a right to decide what's best for us individually. I don't want the government mandating any restrictions on me, including helmet and seatbelt laws. Sorry, I had to argue against that one. That's common sense.
Huh.
At least we
Where's
could
that person going with that, though?
At least we can clean up the gene pool.
Okay. I was going to say, because that sounded a little bit out before it made sense. It made sense.
Yeah.
It
And
makes sense. That's funny.
so, and by the way, it would be much different if there was good science behind what the arguments were, but she doesn't have good science. So the seatbelts laws have good science. Fine.
So I gotta keep it balanced a
common
little
sense.
bit. Aim, I was talking with my wife, and she works at a hospital. People are sick. People are sick. People are dying. It is a fact. That is but there's so many nuances to why that is happening.
Okay.
So I don't want to trample over or make light of someone else's grief, and that's not what we're doing. But we're saying we're not even actually. That's not even in the mix of what we're talking about. What we're in the mix of is the freedom to make a choice.
Exactly.
Now, do our choices affect other people? Yes, they do. So what do we do about that? That leads to another conversation.
Well, yeah, and that's a completely different conversation as how our choices affect other people. And I'm going to come back around to your rights and when they begin to impinge on mine.
Right.
So, and that's a lot of where it comes down to, and that's a much bigger conversation.
Yeah.
But I want to keep getting. We have a lot of comments. I'm trying to get through on
yes.
this. And I just want to let everybody know that is watching. We are planning on going a little bit longer tonight because the Afghanistan thing is a big thing. We wanted to get through that, and we want to talk about what's going on with the county, and we also want to mention Haiti and a few things. So we have a lot to mention tonight. We go over tonight. So we're gonna go a little bit longer. So hang in with us there and keep commenting.
Stay.
We're gonna get the best to it. So
it's gonna get good.
do you think what one comment says? Do you think we are going to have lockdowns like they are doing in Australia? I think if certain people had their ways, they would, but I don't know if it'll get that far because that's martial law. So
you're optimistic.
I'm optimistic, and there's too many bullets in this country. So, Biden screwed that mission up, not the soldier. Yeah, exactly. Biden screwed the mission up, not the soldier. Why do you think the Afghan people couldn't keep their country? I think that's a whole slew of stuff, and that's definitely a bigger discussion. But
that's a huge discussion.
I think it has to do with a whole lot of things from culture, patriotism, lack of funding, and I think it also falls a lot into religion too.
Well, you oppressed one half of the population.
Did you get COVID at the meeting? Nope.
Nope, didn't get it. I was there. Yeah, didn't get it. Actually, I got to tell you, just real fast, I've been vaccinated. Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry. Like I said, you have the freedom and the right to do so.
And I've been vaccinated. I might not get the booster. I'm not sure.
And guys, when he turns into a zombie one day, we'll chain him up over there, and he will keep.
This is what I told Joel. If I turn green, just shoot me. Put me out of my misery. Okay.
No, we're just gonna chain you up in the studio so you can join the show still.
I can still. Him?
Yeah, we'll stuff and mount you on the wall.
Oh, good. Go ahead. You don't like me if I'm angry.
Today, Biden said all kids in schools have to wear masks. We no longer can decide locally. Fuck off, Biden. Come here, tell it to my face, and I'll tell you what I think of that.
He's a little salty.
I'm a little salty tonight because you know what? You don't dictate what happens with my daughter. You do not dictate what happens with my daughter. That is my wife and my decision alone.
Yeah, he said you don't get to dictate what happens to my daughter. If
I'm physically abusing my daughter, then the state needs to step in and protect her. But I'm not physically abusing my daughter. She is well taken care of. She is safe. She's healthy. She's played soccer today. And I'm going to see how she did when she got done. So she is a happy little girl. You are not going to make decisions for my daughter, period. I don't care what you are.
Okay.
You will do it. You will have to do it. Take it at the tip of a spear.
I will not be surprised if that would be some Yahoo in government would say that is abusing your daughter to not protect your daughter from a virus.
They will have to come take it at the tip of a spear because the science says otherwise. That the lowest risk population is children 13 and under. Yep. They have the lowest risk. They have it's 0.000 something percent that have died in this entire thing.
And that's the
ridiculous.
Issue. And that's the issue.
So, can I still point and laugh at the person in the car by themselves with the mask on? Yes, please.
Oh God.
That's a whole kind of stupid there. But they have the right to do it.
Wait a minute.
They have the right to do it. But just because I have the right to walk down the street and have my shirt inside out, my pants on backwards, and look like an idiot, I have a right to do it. But people are going to point and laugh at me.
Dude, I'm going to be a snowflake here, though. Yeah. Isn't it kind of bullyish? I mean, let's be honest, okay? You know what? We may think it's stupid. I see this meme that someone was out in the water with their mask on and they were swimming, and we've seen them all. But some people, we don't want to laugh at their fear.
Okay,
it's a genuine fear for some.
Fine. Don't let them see
Phobia.
Don't let them see you laugh at them.
Yeah, don't let them see you laugh at them. Or point. Good question.
My daughter should never watch this horrible habit she gets from this.
Don't listen to your daddy. That's one time I will tell you not to listen to your daddy, Riley. Go ahead.
Yeah, we need to say fuck off to Biden, too. I say fuck off to Biden. Here you go. Biden, I'm telling you right now, fuck off. Kate Brown, fuck off. Okay, there you go.
So what George is going to do is every time you say fuck, he's going to put up a number. Ding, ding.
We're probably at like 30 right now. I'm not heated about this.
This
tonight,
is not
so.
for your 13 and onions under.
13 and onions?
This is not for your 13 and onions or under.
Yeah. So they already having us fighting each other and turning on our neighbors. When you look at how that, if you look at it, that's how it starts. It's exactly how it starts. It's turning in your neighbor and fighting against each other. Because when you're fighting each other, you're missing what's going on around you.
Yep. Walk around the room. Yep.
Yeah. You know, I have nothing to say about the picture that George showed a minute ago.
Oh, I'm missing all of that, you guys. You get to see it.
Okay, so no mask at Obama's birthday party at 500 or more. Yes, I saw that and heard about it.
I will say something. I think Obama, though, behind Biden's back is saying, you idiot, you idiot, you idiot.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he knows he's quiet.
Here's the thing I was looking at is that you could fit Obama's house in that tent like twice. That was a big
That's a big
was
ass
like a
tent.
circus there or something?
Hey, he could afford one.
What the heck was
That's
up with
where
that?
Freeland
That was a
Brothers and
massive
Barnum and
tent.
Bailey went.
It must have taken like a month to set that up.
You know
All right.
it.
The
Jay-Z and everybody
The
singing
vaccine
it.
stuff is getting insane. Segregation is what I see. Yep, segregation.
Segregation.
It's all the same. It's the same handbook. If there has to be a manual that they're reading from.
Yep.
It's called the history book.
Yep.
If we all learned it, guess what? We would all go, oh, shit! They're doing the same thing they did over in Germany.
Guess what, though?
Shit, they're doing the same thing they did over inside of Russia.
When we rewrite history and we're not reading the right history, then we don't know where we came from.
Learn the real history of what happened and how it started, and understand that it didn't just go
Nothing new
overnight.
under the sun.
That Hitler didn't just show up one day and say, "Hey guys, big armies, I want you to go and kill 6 million Jewish people." No, it started with small things, small groups turning on each other, turning on your neighbor, and next thing you know, you got Anne Frank inside of a attic.
Bro, I'm surprised we haven't been canceled yet.
Why'd you say it?
Because you said fuck a couple times. Go.
People say things all the time. Sorry, sorry. I laugh for people driving around by themselves with the mask on. Yeah, it's no different than laughing at people and swimming with a mask on.
Right.
Riley isn't gonna watch this with how much he said. I'm sorry.
That must be from your wife.
Is it
from Brandy?
If you have parents,
That was from Brandy.
If you have parents that are watching this one, please cover your kids' ears. This is not a show that's meant for kids to watch because we're talking about big ticket items and we get heated sometimes.
It's a little too late to say that.
Well, we said that
parents,
all along.
if your kids are still watching this, you know what? They hear it at school like 1,000 times more.
Yeah, you can listen to it on the radio.
Instead of a face covering, you should do an ear covering. So
that actually might go further. With what's going on out there, guys, the biggest way to control you is by fear.
Yeah.
Don't let fear control you. Stand up for what you believe in, and you can do that by your actions of your votes, by showing up at meetings and letting your voice be heard, and put that pressure on those politicians to write those letters, to basically make a statement saying, hey, we're simply just not going to comply with you. She's not going to shut funding down to the entire state. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Good luck on making that happen. So it's put your pressure on your representatives to get your voice out there. Just like what happened at the meeting last Thursday where like 500 or 600 people showed up to a meeting.
And there were some stories.
And there were some serious stories.
Heartfelt stories. You don't have a chance to watch it. I think you posted it.
I posted it. Yes, it's posted on there. Watch it.
Go watch it.
For example, the law enforcement officer that lost his wife, and now they're saying because he can't get vaccinated or he doesn't believe to get vaccinated or something, he's going to lose his job.
Yeah. Speaking of that, there was another person with lupus that spoke, I believe, or maybe I'm imagining it, but we have a lupus, we know a person who has lupus very close to you. Yep. And what do we do? Again, the question is, what do we do with people that medically can't have it or they will die?
Exactly.
I know a cop who has lupus. And he's saying, if I take it, I'm going to die.
My wife has lupus.
Yes.
Backwoods wife Brandy has lupus.
Yes.
So, which by the way, Backwoods Wives is coming out. We're looking at the best way to do that because we have a limited staff to get things done, and so it's hard to edit a lot of stuff. So we're looking at different options, but the video is coming, and then we'll see how we go from there. So the video is coming up.
And speaking of that, please look at our merchandise. And look, if you're interested in joining the Backwoods team, just message us. We might just look at you. We need some behind the scenes people.
What?
Behind the scenes people.
We had behind the scenes people.
I know.
Okay.
He wants more.
Oh, he wants more. You want more people.
More people.
If you have a tech skill, you're saying.
If you have a tech skill
Reach out and
a personality, and you love fun,
yeah.
And you can say the F word 1,000 times.
Another comment. They don't want to hurt people's feelings or offend them by talking about what actually happened in history. What does Ben Shapiro say? Facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say a different way. Same thing, same idea.
What are you gonna say?
Fuck your feelings. Learn the facts.
True. True.
Again,
true.
I'll say the fuck your feelings.
Beep.
Learn about the facts. All right, fine.
I'm never giving
Fine.
you squirt ever again.
F asterisk CK your feelings. Learn the facts.
Wow. You know what? He's only saying what everybody's thinking, though. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So go ahead. I said everybody, but a majority of the people, or maybe half.
Let's get to something else.
Yeah.
So I think we've said a lot of people are thinking out there. Give us the right to choose.
Give us the right to choose. That's the bottom line.
Let's hit another big one that happened over the last week.
Yeah.
Man, when you name your country Haiti, you kind of got to expect earthquakes and
Otherwise known as
tsunamis
hail.
And
Yeah.
I think the president
The president was assassinated.
Yes.
And
I mean, while that was a joke, it's still I really feel about those people.
yeah, as a matter of fact, we've had friends, or I have a friend that was a missionary down in Haiti, and I know she's right now mourning some of the loss there.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, there was an earthquake, and you know about this too. 1.2 million people, including 540,000 children, had been impacted by this 7.2 earthquake magnitude, which struck southeastern Haiti, which is the population's kind of dense there still, but it affected a lot of people on Saturday morning, according to the UNICEF, which I used to do UNICEF. Mm-hmm. The quake left at least 1,941 people dead and more than 6,900 injured. That toll is expected to rise in the coming days, but search and rescue efforts are being hampered by and lack of resources and heavy rains that are caused mudslides as well as a tropical storm Grace that went through that region.
I want to give them an understanding of just the size and the magnitude of that, and I'm going to bring it home for a minute.
Absolutely.
This was a quick article done a while back from KGW News Channel 8. The interstate bridge carries roughly about 130,000 cars and trucks daily over the Columbia River along the Interstate 5. In a magnitude 8 or 9 Cascadia subduction zone quake, its critical connection between Oregon and Washington would fail. Mm-hmm. I don't have the name of Johnson, but they're one of the experts they have in this quote. I'm only reading a piece of it. It says, I'm confident it would collapse under a 9.0 earthquake. That means there's potential to collapse under an 8.0 earthquake. This was a 7.2. And there's a possibility it could collapse into 7.2. So to give you an idea, that's a massive quake to be in order to collapse a bridge.
Absolutely.
No joke. So if something like that hit in Portland,
yep.
there is a solid chance that there would be building collapses, bridge collapses.
Yes.
There would be infrastructure damage. There would be some serious problems in this area. So and we're a first world country where we have earthquake retrofitting and everything else in place.
Absolutely good point.
So imagine a place like Haiti,
yes,
who
infrastructure is
still is recovering
Yeah.
from that tsunami and everything. They're still rebuilding in some areas from that. That was when was the tsunami again a while ago?
forget. But while you're looking at that, the governmental structure is even collapsing as well. That country has been neglected. That country has been mistreated, corrupt, politicians as well. They've left Haiti literally in shambles, and for them to go through as much as they're going through, escalated right now, is crazy. So
Yeah, it was 2010, so it was about 11 years ago. But about a decade ago, they had it. So they probably got a lot of their infrastructure rebuilt, especially with some help from the US.
You're talking about the tsunami.
The tsunami.
Yes, and wasn't there a hurricane that really?
Hurricane.
brought
I think
things
they're going
in?
through a tropical storm right now too.
Yeah,
One's coming in. So
the ones coming in.
Yeah.
Grace.
So they're just getting pounded down there. And imagine if you just had your house or your apartment building crumble, and if you weren't crushed under it, and you don't no longer have a home, and all of a sudden you have a tropical storm coming in that potentially could turn into a hurricane, and you have nowhere to go.
There are pictures of literally kids outside of hospitals, and they're being serviced, and kids with broken arms and things like that. So and I'm glad actually you brought it home to us, because we are on a fault. You said Cascadia subduction zone, which literally I used to love geology. So I learned about the dip slip. It's literally a plate cascading under this one, and the quakes go like this instead of like this. So that quake literally just jolted everything forward. It was a very, very powerful quake there. So, wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, we're running out of time here. We're only going to.
Can I hit one more?
Yeah, go ahead and go on, and I want to wrap us back around on everything. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there's been an earthquake happening kind of in New York, with Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Oh yes.
Yes, with his resignation because of sexual harassment allegations and fast-moving impeachment effort, which left pressure for him to step down. And this, I want you to read. I want to read the governor's quote. Okay, the governor's defense. This is his defense. Okay, guys. He kisses and hugs hundreds and thousands of people, and I quote, "I do it with everyone, black and white, young and old, straight and LGBTQ, powerful people, friends, strangers, people who I meet on the street." Are you kissing people on the street? Because we better watch out for COVID. He's a petri dish for COVID.
I don't hug and kiss people I see on the street, man. That's just a little weird.
That was his defense, though. I'm like, you know what? Guilty. Guilty. You're guilty.
Just walking down, hugging and kissing people, and maybe a little French and a little tongue in there and everything.
You know what? This is what he says. Another quote. He goes, "I thought a hug and putting my arm around a staff person while taking a picture was friendly, but she found it to be too forward." She meaning the last woman who accused him. "I kissed a woman on the cheek at a wedding, and I thought it was being nice, but she felt that it was too aggressive," referring to allegations in the Attorney General's report. So Governor Cuomo announced his resignation last week.
Yeah.
His brother had a little bit to say about it, and he basically, which is Chris Cuomo on CNN, and he's trying to not say as much about his brother.
Good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. He goes, he said, "I couldn't believe that I had a brother basically that would be impeached or asked to, step down." So.
Yep. Good riddance. And then it said that good riddance. I said it, and then it came.
Somebody said good riddance?
Same time I said it, too.
Well, he hugs and kisses everybody, so he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Let's give him that.
All right. Well,
and a creepy one.
Let's do a 5-minute wrap up here.
Doesn't Biden, doesn't he smell hair?
He
sniffs people.
Sniffs kids. So
he sniffs and kisses and hugs. I mean,
Yep, exactly.
It's all gravy.
Well, I want to do a quick. I want to do a quick wrap up here at the very end.
Okay.
So we talked about Afghanistan, and we talked about how Biden has screwed it up from the ground up, and it wasn't the mission of what we went there to do, which was to stop the terrorism, then the mission to rebuild, which it transferred into rebuilding the mission. It was the exit strategy mission that was started and it was being executed successfully under Trump, and then was handed off to him to just finish it out, and he completely fucked it up. Okay, he screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
So we talked a little about that. We talked about how people were felt. I know the soldiers that fought over there feel a wealth of emotion. The American people feel the wealth of emotions. I think that he does need to go, but I think also Kamala Harris needs to take responsibility as much for it, and she probably needs to go too.
But if he goes, if we invoke the 25th or 5th.
How about impeachment?
25th.
Let's go with impeachment.
I was going to say, that means that she's going to actually rise up to power.
She needs to go with him because she is just as responsible.
Oh, please. Do you think that's going to happen?
The pair need to go. I'm just saying, this is my opinion. What's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, the pair need to go?
The pair need to go because they are both equally responsible
Then
for
it's
it.
Nancy Pelosi.
And yes, and then it'll take her 5 minutes to screw something up and get it. So...
No, all I have to say to you is, do you remember she did that? At Trump when he made the speech, and then she did this, and then she tore it up.
I remember her tearing it up.
It was the come on guys, tell me, what was it? What was it?
State of the Union?
State of the Union, that's what it was. Yeah.
All right. So that's where we're sitting at with the Afghan issue.
Uh-huh.
And then we're talking about our local governments. And it comes down to where, yes, technically they're supposed to abide by the governor's orders and stuff.
Right.
But when those governor's orders are starting to impede and become somewhat unconstitutional and step on our freedom and are violating our constitutional rights, it becomes a responsibility and the almost the people's mandate towards those elected officials to listen to the voice of the people and to stand up against that by doing something. Example, like what the Union County Sheriff did and said, basically, fuck off, Kate Brown.
You want to say that?
We're going to do what we want to do.
Right.
So, and again, fuck off, Kate Brown. We're going to do what we want to do. So that's where we kind of landed with that is people have the right to decide their own fates. We don't need the government doing it for us. I'm a grown man, and many people out there are. They can make their own decisions. Okay? So.
Got you.
And that goes for our kids, too.
Yeah.
So that's where we landed with that one. Then we swung over to Haiti. We travel all around the world today. We swung over to Haiti. Talked a little bit about what was going on with that tragic story over there. So we didn't really leave people a place to go with that one, which I recommend if you keep up with it. There might be some ways you can donate and support that area. I'm sure there's a lot of large organizations that are giving aid, and we'll try to post some information about that.
Yeah, and that's really good. You know, we always say, you hear this, that we're going to send our prayers and we're going to send our love, but send your finances, send your self if you
prayers.
feel like as well.
Prayers. You hit it right on the head.
Prayers. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely pray for a place called Haiti.
Yep.
And the last one is we talked about kissing Cuomo.
Just leave that story. Wah. That's
kissing Cuomo.
Kissing.
Hashtag
Cuomo.
kissing Cuomo. And I'm hoping that our staff. I'm hoping that our staff has just started this. Hashtag kissing Cuomo.
Cuomo.
Kissing Cuomo.
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 Kissing
Cuomo. I'm hoping that the staff has already put it in there. So, that's a quick 5-minute wrap up of what we did.
Yeah.
And so at this point, we're at the end of our time.
You did a good job.
No, I wanted to wrap it back around for people that may have joined late.
You make a really good therapist.
I would not make a good therapist because I don't listen.
That was a good summary.
That was a great summary for a show once a week for an hour and a half.
That was good. Close us out, Cuomo. Kissing Cuomo.
Hashtag kissing Cuomo.
And you get to say the F word one more time.
Fuck.
Okay. There you go.
Fuckity fuck. So, hey, so if you get a chance, please, if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. So go onto YouTube, subscribe for us, like our videos, follow us, please. Share this video with your friends, share it with your family. Invite them to watch the next show. Yes. Please take a minute, swing by our website, backwoodsbrothers.com. Take a minute, we have old videos on there. They're much easier to find there. Also, stop by the store, see what kind of merchandise we have. If you have recommendations for merchandise, things you'd like to see, let us know. Maybe we'll design something up for it. Maybe we'll make a hashtag kissing Cuomo.
I think so.
Shirt.
Can I say one thing with that?
Yeah.
Thank you. We want to say thank you to our viewers. You guys are what makes the show. If it weren't for you, there wouldn't be an us. We love your feedback. We love your feedback. So continue. And as what my brother Joel said, we need you guys.
And what was the other one? I think we're gonna make a shirt that says, fuck your feelings, learn the facts.
So Brandy, I hope you're like taking notes here. She's our design lady. Yes.
So yep, and if there's anything else, we're up for listening. But hey guys, thanks for joining us. We love to see you next week, 7 p.m. We may or may not have a guest on next week. Just kind of keeping that up there. We've been looking at a few of them, and at one point we actually have talked to
Kissing Cuomo.
No, not Kissing Cuomo. I would not have him on there. Wouldn't change.
Damn
the show.
it!
But we have talked to one. I'm not gonna say which one. One of our county commissioners has agreed to come onto the show.
What?
One of our county commissioners has agreed to come onto the show. So I'm not going to say which one.
Keep it secret from me. Even.
Yeah. So they might be on in a few weeks. They're not going to be on next week. But
so we should look really nice, is what you're saying?
No, we're going to still be Backwoods until I might tell him to wear flannel or her to wear flannel.
Okay.
So, all right. So him or her to wear flannel. So and they might already wear flannels.
Hey Joel,
I may have seen
what's
her with
his
a
name?
flannel. Well, I may have seen her with a flannel too. You know.
What's his name?
What's her name? I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
There's not a lot to choose from.
We're just waiting.
You got 5 of them there. So, but anyways, so he or she will be on hopefully next month. I had to send the official invitation to what day it is, so that they can make themselves available. And then we also have some other guests that we might have coming on soon too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Remember,
start a conversation. That was the best. I'm pissed on you, bro.
Doggy.